So today's going to be a little different.
How?
We're only going to drink one beer.
That sounds lame.
But we're going to answer a bunch of viewer Q&A.
Really?
Yes.
So we're going to have a beer Q&A?
Beer Q&A.
Beerqa!
Beerqa.
Ha!
Hey, Beerocrats, I'm Paulette.
And I'm Erik.
And today we're drinking some of our favorite beers.
Ha ha! I can't wait.
And then answering some beer questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have questions from actual people who watch our show. They do exist.
They exist.
They exist.
So I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Otra Vez because it's delicious. It is a gose style beer, which just means it's sour and it's good.
And I'm going to be drinking a Ballast Point Sculpin because, of course.
Let's get to the question.
All right, let's do it. Beer Q&A. Beerqa.
So I have the questions out in front of us here. So question numero uno came from someone who doesn't drink. So we're going to have to answer this in the spirit of how it was given.
Further proof that our viewers exist. People who don't drink actually watch our shit. This is great news. Great news. Getting all that Bitcoin money.
We take all kinds here.
We don't discriminate.
The question is, why do people drink beer?
Well, that's an interesting question. Would you like to answer first?
My take on it is that it's in our DNA. Our ancestors have been drinking beer since they were able to farm wheat, grains, barley. And in fact, there is some discussion among archaeologists that the farming of grains may have been caused by the need to produce beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember, it was only till recently that we could drink the water that just existed. You know, water was contaminated. And the best...
people were pissing in it. Right?
Well, that. And
also,
you had to boil it in order for it to be safe to drink. And the best way to do that was to make something else with it, like beer.
Okay.
Or cider. We've had cider too. Like that was a big part of American history. But in other areas of the world, they were drinking beer because that's what you drank. They didn't have water coming out of the tap. They had beer in a barrel. So, I mean, it's part of our DNA as human beings to drink beer.
Yes, that is a great answer.
Thank you. What's your answer?
My answer is because shit tastes good, bitch.
Well, there's that too.
Well, honestly, I think people drink beer for different reasons. When we're, 15, 16, 17 in our latter years of high school,
experimenting with
we're drinking beer because we're doing something cool and oh my god, I'm so drunk. And
but the beer you're drinking at that age is definitely
it's bullshit.
Craft beer.
It's bullshit. We're doing it because we want to be
$3.
grown-ups.
That trend, know anything.
That trend kind of continues into college, and you're
poor,
drinking.
So you're drinking easy.
Yeah.
Drinking low quality,
basically
low
stuff that
beer.
we don't drink on this show.
Well, I mean, if you dare me to drink a Rolling Rock, I still will, because that reminds me of college.
My point exactly. So that trend continues into college, and as we get older, we start our tastes get more refined in everything. Not just drinking beer, but like everything, material stuff,
your
like
clothing, your cars, your food.
Your personality, maybe. Some people might not, but
a little bit more refined. I agree with you on that.
So you get to like where we are with life, and at this point we're like, okay, we're not drinking beer to get drunk. That's a side effect, and sometimes it's a real fun one. But we're not doing it so that we can get sloshed and talk shit to a bunch of people and get in fights. You're now doing it for the taste. You want to taste that coriander. You want to taste the hops if you're into IPAs. Like myself. So that's why you drink beer at this point. Someone who's never drank beer, let alone alcohol, could genuinely enjoy the taste of beer, depending on the brew, and be intrigued by the process of how it's made and how it got to that point, and without getting completely fucked up drunk.
Which should never be your purpose.
Find out which ones you like. If you don't like them, don't drink them. If you enjoy them in moderation.
And you know what? There is nothing wrong with not drinking.
Absolutely not. it's not everybody's taste, right?
Exactly. Like
So-
not everyone likes BMWs.
Yeah. Not everyone likes great white sharks, but although I don't understand how. So yeah, that's why people drink beer.
That's why people drink beer.
What's our next question?
So our next question is, what's your suggestion for where a non-beer drinker should start? So someone who isn't familiar with beer, maybe only drinks hard alcohol or wine.
Or anything at all?
Or anything, yeah.
Okay.
You know, the novice beerist.
Okay. I would suggest starting with the lighter stuff, solely because you're trying to determine where your palate gets happy and where it gets like disgusted, right? So you want to start on the lighter side and not necessarily jump into something like IPAs that has a high alcohol by volume content.
So by lighter, you mean lower ABVs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not in color. We know you're infatuated with the colors of the beer.
You're the one that's always bringing up our color difference.
Well, that's different. Like we're pretty. Beers are they
Not
they
pretty?
change in color. No, I mean look at this ugly bitch. Like
So what
I
Erik
don't
is
care.
saying is start on the lighter end of the alcoholic spectrum.
Yes.
ABV stands for alcohol by volume,
Yes.
and it's how much alcohol is in any given volume of liquid. So
And work your way up. Work your way up into higher ABVs. There are various different flavors for every percentage.
Yep.
And once you get to something that's like a 13 percenter,
oh, that's wine level.
that's basically your Cabernet sitting in the
yeah,
wine
and
cellar.
that's like big wines. That's
Yeah.
California cabs.
And you want to drink those beers much like you drink wine,
very slowly and in small quantities.
conservatively. I mean, if you drink them like you're in college, you're going to hate the following day, probably the following week.
There's a reason why so many people hate tequila as adults is because they smashed that in college. And first of all, you were drinking really low quality tequila,
Mhm.
probably. And then you had one too many mornings where you woke up hating life, which should never be the purpose of drinking. Like,
Yeah.
you do not want to wake up with a hangover. That's bad.
Welcome to Beerocrats TV.
And or any spirit, any alcohol where you wake up the next morning and you're throwing up your guts and you're praying to the, porcelain god, like that's a bad move for everyone. And we've all been there. Like we've all been there.
So basically, start low, work
Start
your way
low.
up until you find something that you enjoy.
Yeah, and then also start with what you know. Like maybe you like coffee. And I don't. Erik does, right?
I
You
do.
drink coffee.
Black.
I have to put enough cream or milk in it so it looks like this color.
Mm.
Basically, I drink white coffee, which is milk with a drop of coffee in it. But if you know that you like stronger flavors, maybe you do start at the more bitter side of things or the more roasted side of things. There is we had a black lager recently on this show, which was a lower ABV because it was part of our diet beer episode, right?
Right.
So if you like coffee but need a lower ABV, that's an option. You into black lager, Baba Black Lager.
Baba Black Lager.
Tasted like a porter.
I think we just named a beer. Ryan, write it down.
So the Uinta Black Lager tasted like a porter, which is usually a very high ABV, super roasted like coffee, but it was a light beer. So if you're completely ignorant of beer, go with what you know, maybe. And then you can go from there. Also, a good place to start if you are going, or like, okay, I want to start drinking beer. Go to a bar that has a good selection and a bartender that can guide you. And, they will ask you these questions. What do you like to eat? What other drinks do you like? Is it wine? Is it vodka? So those are our tips for starting off your beer journey. All right. So our next question is, what does IPA stand for?
Oh, I know the answer to this one.
Do you?
I do because I'm drinking one right now.
You are indeed.
I am. Ballast Point Sculpin is an IPA, and the acronym stands for India Pale Ale. Paul, if you would, for our viewers, explain why they call it an India Pale Ale.
So this dates back to the early British Empire. The people in Britain were were shipping their beer to India.
Let's go to India, shall we?
It's part of the British Empire. But their beer along the way, because again, couldn't drink water, beer is what you drink, was spoiling. You know, it was a multi-month journey from London all the way around to India.
Yeah.
Like, that took forever.
Yeah, they didn't have planes back then.
They also didn't have limes or oranges on their boats, and so they got screwed. But anyway, so they needed a way to make the beer make that journey and still be drinkable. And so what they did is added more hops as a preservative. So you got a more bitter beer, but that would last the journey all the way down to India. So it became an India Pale Ale. So they still are pale ales, and then India Pale Ales, IPAs, that are a bit more bitter.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that IPAs have more hops.
You are correct. I think we have enough beer for one more question. What do you think?
I'm down with it.
Okay. What are some other uses for beers? Like, which ones are better for cooking? Which ones are better for medicinal purposes?
Well, there are various things. Scientists are actually trying to utilize beer in a way that will fuel your car.
Really?
That's absolutely
That's awesome.
fact. There are researchers.
We could use Budweiser to fuel the car and drink better things.
That's true.
Yay.
Researchers are trying to find a way to take the ingredients used to make beer and replace gasoline as a method of fueling your car, so that in the next century or so, we'll be able to drive from beer station to beer station and fuel up our Priuses.
Sweet. I'm down. You wrote an article about heart disease and beer, didn't you?
I did.
Eric's a writer.
I am.
If you didn't know that. And we'll link to the article down below, but what were your findings?
I don't remember because I'm too drunk.
Eric.
I am. I don't remember what I wrote.
But there are some health benefits to drinking beer. Beer is a fermented beverage like kombucha, yogurt, the things that are good for your gut. So again, in moderation, you can't drink 15 beers and heal your gut, but you can drink 1, maybe 2 a day and help keep those levels good. It's also, what Eric's drinking is a more bitter beverage, and we mentioned before that bitter foods are good for you, like kale and Brussels sprouts and all that stuff that your parents force you to eat, and as an adult, you find yourself maybe still not eating because I don't eat that stuff, but adults do. I'm an adult.
I found the article that you were referencing, and a study revealed that men who drink 3 to 14 drinks a week, that's a lot, are 21% less likely to die from heart disease. So basically, keep drinking to save the ticker, and you'll be good.
You have a 1 in 5 chance of being less likely to have a heart attack.
That's right.
But also, it's good for your bones. And as women, we are more predisposed to osteoporosis and needing more calcium. But actually, it turns out that beer helps with bone density and the reabsorption of calcium. So those two things kind of work in concert.
Speaking of women, any group of women that drinks 3 to 7 drinks
a week
are 34% less likely to die from heart disease.
Yeah, I don't want a heart attack, so I drink my beer.
Yep.
And as far as the cooking aspect is concerned, so we've covered the medicinal aspects of beer. Most recipes will call for lighter beers, a pale, maybe a lager, because what happens when you cook with beer is it becomes more concentrated. All of the alcohol itself doesn't necessarily cook off, so that's one thing you need to be aware of. It depends how much volume you're using. A couple teaspoons, yeah. In 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's probably going to be gone. But also the higher ABV. So what I'm drinking here is a 4.5%, I think. What's yours?
7.
Yeah. So these are both 12% bottles. So we both drank the same amount of beer, but Eric's was more alcoholic, which means as it cooks, it's going to cook off slower. So the paler stuff, the lighter stuff has less alcohol in it to begin with, so it'll cook off faster. But, you have to be careful with cooking with those higher ABV and more bitter beers because that concentrates the bitterness. And now we're out of beer.
Are we out of questions too?
No, we have plenty of questions, but those will have to wait till next time when we have more beer.
When we
With which
do
to fuel our questions and answers.
when we do another beerqa.
We will come back to you with another beerqa.
Beerqa.
Beerqa. I'm Paulette.
And I'm Erik.
And we are the Beerocrats.
This is the Beerocracy.
You can find us everywhere at Beerocrats TV, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find this handsome fella at Twitter at Lord Fonz with two Z's. And Instagram you are
ERIK_FONTANEZ.
And I'm P Font because my maiden name is also Fontanez. So I'm P Font everywhere.
Good for you.
If you like this, share it with your friends. Give us a little likey like. Leave us a comment and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time on the Beerocracy. Cheers. I need more beer. Hey, Beerocrats! Need more bureaucracy in your life? Here are 2 more videos you should watch.